It started with a simple idea. What if I played through every game I ever wanted to finish? That idea became the 1K Backlog Catalog, 1,000 games across 10 consoles, and my mission to beat them all, one by one. Super Mario Bros., the first game in the challenge and one of the oldest and most iconic series in video game history. Released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985, the same year that Marty McFly went back to 1955 to avoid the sexual advances of his teenage mother. So how does Super Mario Bros. Hold up after all these years? Are we still looking at it through rose-tinted glasses and fond memories of nostalgia? Or is it just as good as we remember? So let's talk about the graphics. This is quintessential Super Mario. For a lot of people, this is what they think of, and if you're born in the 80s or early 90s, this is the Super Mario that you remember. This is potentially many people's first game they ever played, myself included. The graphics are great. It is iconic, so historic. I couldn't ask for anything more out of a game from 1985. And then there's the music. I don't even have to play it for you. You know the signature Super Mario Bros. Music. Music that has been used and remixed for years in the series. And the sounds that come from this game, the jump sound, collecting coins, all these things have been foundational things that have been used throughout the Mario Bros. Series. Another thing to know is the more you play the game, the more likely you are to find secrets. These could be from 1-ups to time-saving level skips that make the game significantly easier. This particular secret is the key to why I was actually able to finally beat this game. And how does it feel after all of these years? Has it become a dusty, clunky mess compared to games today? No, not at all. The gameplay feels superb. It's not perfect, but about as good as any game should feel. It moves as you'd expect. It jumps when you press jump. What more do you need? The jump also allows for really slight mid-air adjustments to refine your landing. It's quite a nice touch. It's nice to see the great quality of life for a platformer like this. Speaking of quality of life, it's pretty limited in Super Mario Bros. You get 3 lives to start out. And by collecting 100 coins, you get another life. And through various secrets throughout the game, you're going to find 1-ups as well to help you along the way. But what's the story in Super Mario Bros. For the NES? Well, this is the excerpt straight from the game manual. One day, the kingdom of peaceful mushroom people was invaded by the Koopa, a tribe of turtles famous for their black magic. The quiet, peace-loving mushroom people were turned into mere stones, bricks, and even field horsehair plants, and the mushroom kingdom fell into ruin. The only one who can undo the magic spell on the mushroom people and return them to their normal selves is Princess Toadstool, the daughter of the Mushroom King. Unfortunately, she is presently in the hands of the great Koopa Turtle King. Mario, the hero of our story, hears about the Mushroom People's plight and sets out on a quest to free the Mushroom Princess from the evil Koopa and restore the fallen kingdom of the Mushroom People. You are Mario. It's up to you to save the Mushroom People from the black magic of the Koopa. And that brings us to our main antagonist, Bowser himself, King Koopa. He's who you're gonna face off against at the end of every level. The levels are sorted out by stages, 1 through 4, and once you get to 4, you'll face off against Bowser himself. And repeatedly, after you defeat him, you will be told that the princess is in another castle, so the search continues. Now, let's start to dig into my playthrough. Now, I played this a lot as a kid, so this first warp zone is a no-brainer. I remember this at the end of World 1-2, you're given the option to warp all the way up to level 4. And yeah, we took it. We took it, and we got no regrets about taking it. The more I played this game, the more I realized I needed to take any shortcuts I could find. I'm not a platforming guy. I'm not great at platformers. I'm very average at everything. And in fact, I'm below average at many things. So, whenever an opportunity arises in this game to take a little time off, You know I'm gonna take it. Here, we've gone and sprinted through 4-1, and we're at 4-2. And this was the game changer right here. Finding this was the difference between me taking an hour to get to World 8 down to about 15 minutes, maybe less. And being able to just constantly go through these over and over was a lifesaver. This warp zone takes us all the way to World 8, an absolute game changer. And World 8, this is where the game starts to get interesting. This is where the game starts to get challenging. Don't even ask me how many times it took me to figure out you could just run over the small gaps. Oh my gosh. Oh, I was so infuriated by this until I finally figured it out, jumping over these tiny gaps over and over. Oh man. Okay. So when you start in World 8, the enemies become so much more numerous. The jumps get way harder. The platforming in general gets way more difficult. This took me a lot of practice to finally get myself consistently getting to like 8-2, 8-3. It was just practice. There's no easy way to say it. And these jumps were just like memorization. I needed to learn the levels. There was no jumping in and understanding that I was going to be able to do these things first try. And we finally get ourselves to 8-2. 8-2, it ups it again. You got a Lakitu throwing things at you from the skies, throwing spinies at us. This is a joke. We've seen this in a previous level, but now it's on another level of difficulty here. And now there's a really cool secret in 8-2. Near the beginning of the level, there's a 1-up here, and if you can consistently get it, you can kind of maintain your lives for a little while. Dodging through the bullets here is an absolute challenge, and like I had to memorize this. I was not going to be able to one-shot any of this. I had been through most of these levels several times at this point. This is my playthrough that was the playthrough. And this jump right here, shout out to one of the viewers who helped me figure out how to do this jump. This was an absolute nightmare situation here. All right, 8-2 is in the books. We are now working on 8-3. Now, I've only done this one a handful of times, but I do know that there's a couple of tricky situations that come up in here. So we've got these hammer bros just hanging out, making our life an absolute nuisance. I don't know a good strategy other than a bit of luck, and hopefully we can get over the top on these guys. So I take my time, I wait patiently, and I wait for them to go down to where they're both on a lower level, and I just go for it. Now we've got another little challenge here. It ain't long before we run into these hammer bros again. Here we go. A couple more of these knuckleheads to absolutely make our lives a living hell. We wait. We're patient. And as soon as we get the opportunity, oh, it's a close one. As soon as we get the opportunity, we jump, we go, we're on the move. And I see another one and another one. Right here, I'm in full panic mode. You might not think it, but I am in full panic mode. And I get hit, but we're right near the end here. And we just got to do a little bit of platforming, and we get ourselves out of it. Oh my gosh, I can remember how stressed I was. I absolutely bombed getting the points on that flag, but who cares? Who cares? I got it. It's done. And here we go, 8-4. Now, I will preface this by saying, I knew the secret in here. I was aware of the after the lava secret. I believe I read this somewhere. We strategically need to take every little pipe after the lava. See, there's these puzzles throughout these Bowser stages. Some of them are pretty easy to figure out, where you just have to follow the flame that it comes across the screen, and others are a little bit trickier, but this one was definitely the trickiest one. And we just have to take every pipe after every pool of lava. This particular pipe just teleports us in the right direction, and we've got these guys, these fish things flying through the air. I'm not sure how they're surviving lava. And I do die here, but I mean, I died probably hundreds of times in this game, so it's just par for the course at this point. And this pipe takes us into a little water level here. And this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. We do have a close call in here, but it's not too rough. And then we get through here. This is the furthest I've ever been in the game. Then we got this hammer bro here. Just another one of these guys to make our lives a little bit harder. and I'm just patiently waiting, trying to figure out if there's going to be a pattern, and then we make this jump, and then I cannot believe it, the first time I see the last Bowser. Oh, yes! Nice! Alright. I beat it! Yes! Alright, thank you, Mario. Your quest is over. We present you with a new quest. Push the B button to select a world. Okay. B. Wait. Does that just take you back? It does. Well, there it is. Game number 1 in the challenge, done. Now, what did I think of it? Is this game a masterpiece today? Well, if you look at the foundations that it laid, it's hard to argue otherwise. But some people could approach this and think it's massively dated and too ugly to pick up, which is bizarre for most of us that, you know, have played video games most of our lives. It's so solid in every way and doesn't do anything terribly wrong. In fact, the biggest criticism that I can give it is it's a fairly difficult game. As the first game in the challenge, I was challenged. It's a platformer and I'm not a huge platforming guy, but you know what? I started this challenge and hopefully along the way I get a little bit better at some of these games. So what would I give it today? What if I had to give it a score? If I had to today give Super Mario Bros. From 1985 a score, I'd give it an 8. It's solid. It doesn't do anything wrong. And it's just so iconic, I feel like most people should play this game. Now, in terms of difficulty, what sort of score would I give it? Well, I've played some other games before this video has finally come out. And some of those other games have been quite challenging compared to this. Now, I didn't 100% this, I took skips, I didn't do any exploits as far as I know, and I did know the lava thing. I think I had read that somewhere. I could have even seen it online. So I did know the lava thing for the last boss, but at that point I was ready to see the end of this game. I had had my time with it. It was a very fun game. So for difficulty, I would give this probably a 6. I don't think it was overly difficult. It was just kind of memorizing things to the point of understanding when things were going to be coming up in each level. So for me, 6 out of 10 is a pretty good difficulty score. 8 out of 10 for gameplay. It's fantastic. Would I recommend you play this in 2025? Absolutely. If you enjoy platforming in the slightest, give this a shot. This is the foundations for so many games that have come after it. It is fantastic. Even if you don't beat it, you gotta give it a shot. Play it. I don't care how you play it. Original console, or the other ways. Go ahead. Jump in. Super Mario Brothers. Now, what do? We got a whole list. We got 99 more games on our list for the Nintendo. Well, we did a random number draw, and the next game on the list coming up is Final Fantasy for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This will be my first ever Final Fantasy, so if you liked this video, please give me a follow, subscribe, check out my Twitch channel, ArculusRex/TwitchTV, and hopefully I'll see you around. Thanks for stopping by.